I lay back, and then I
We
come
got it.
up.
Hey, hey, hey! Oh, check out the Marcus and Manny show.
I hate you both right now. You guys are ridiculous.
I'm Shotzi Blackheart, the ballsy badass, and you are watching the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. Remember to like the video and subscribe.
Hello, welcome to another edition of the Untitled Manny and I think Marcus's Dead show. In the meantime, I'm joined by Eric.
I thought you were gonna go with I'm Manny, ho ho, and I was gonna say I'm ho ho, I'm Marcus, the grand finale, because we do look alike, but who knows?
So we're going with the same storyline of we us wanting to replace Angelo Dawkins with
Yeah,
Denzel
I could be Denzel Dejanette, but at the end of the day, I heard a vicious rumor today that the grand finale was actually dead. As you can just see, you look at his car. Oh, he rose up from the grave.
Oh!
He's back.
Oh!
He's back.
My demise has been greatly exaggerated. I'm alive.
So in the pre-chat, pre-ramble, Eric told me a story about Marcus at his job apparently being told that people thought he was dead. So I said, save that story for on air. And Marcus, can you please explain yourself?
Well, so it was I guess it was Monday night. I don't know when it was. Oh, maybe Tuesday. So anyway, on Facebook, a guy posts, "Rest in peace, Marcus." It was a guy. He was from a different casino where I worked in this casino, the Hustler. I don't know this guy, but another guy who I work with assumes that I was dead. So immediately he started texting supervisors in a large group text, "Hey, did you guys hear what happened to Marcus? What's going on?" And so all of a sudden, I'm declared dead because this guy spread the supervisor all the way to the top. All the way to the top. Even the owner thought I was dead at this point. And we're right and this is like maybe an hour before we have our meeting. So I'm dead. And people, no one's like putting rest in peace or anything up there. But I'm all of a sudden getting random phone calls of people. Like one of my boss calls, like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Christine?" And she's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's like, "Yeah, you okay?" "I'm good. I'm good. Nothing wrong here. I'm living my life this
Hold on,
morning."
hold on. So these people have been told you are dead, yet
Yes.
they still try and ring your phone.
Manny, that is
Yes.
the same thing I pointed out. I was like, "Are you calling to leave a voicemail?" But you haven't got to the second person when Mark was on the phone with his first boss, and that's the best part of the story.
Yeah. So the whole calling when someone's dead, you have to confirm the kill. I think I understand that. You have to confirm that I'm dead. Because no one's seen a body. There's no news story. There's nothing even on Facebook. You would think Eric or, his wife or Ryan or somebody would have posted, or, someone close to me on my Facebook page or Instagram would have posted something. With that being said, after this awkward phone call of just seeing if you're okay, just checking in on you, as one person said, it was interesting that when she was more interested in you being dead than alive at this point. Because as soon as that conversation ended up with you alive, it was kind of like it was over. But meanwhile, while this is going on, I'm getting another call from another friend and slash boss, and she's calling, but I don't answer the phone because I'm on the other phone call with Christine, my boss, and so I end that call. I go, "Damn, this is the same phone call," because Christine didn't tell me that I was dead. She didn't inform me that this was a check-in to see if I was alive, that I
A
didn't
wellness
die.
check. A wellness check without telling anybody that you having a wellness check. That's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, just what's up? It was awkward. And so I called the other person, and she's in tears, and you just hear like, "Oh God!" And like he's like, "Thank God you're still alive." Like, what? And I'm going, "Why am I dead?" Why am I dead? He's like, "Oh, Richard sent down the text, and he said, "Did you hear what Marcus? He's dead." And I go, "What?" And then she tells the story, and then and he's like, "I don't know." She's like, "I don't know what he's talking about, but it was a mass text, and apparently you're dead. You died." And we don't know the case, and I'm hearing stories that Steve Morales, and I'm going like, who? Like, I know my uncle. He's the closest Steve I know, but that's it. But he ain't
His real name
Morales.
not even Steve.
Yeah, his real name is Steve, and he don't go by Steve on Facebook or the 20 Facebook accounts he has.
Damn, he got too many
So,
Facebook accounts. I ain't afraid of
so
about 5 of them.
yeah, so I didn't, after realizing I'm not dead, I go into work, and Eric to get this part of the story, and I'm just, walking around, alive and shit. Talking about, I'm probably gonna miss this day, no one would have noticed, or they would have, maybe he is dead, maybe that wasn't Marcus that answered the phone. There's endless possibilities of this, and so I go to another person, one of my bosses, and go and say, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, I'm good, and I just simply ask, "Did you think I died today?" And she's like, "Yeah, man." It was the worst text ever. And she's like, "I just saw you the other day. We're both up here." And I'm like, "What could have happened in San Francisco?" And I was like, "You didn't knock on my door to see if I was alive, or even question if my roommate had killed me? I'm just dead." Like, but it was like, what?
But I love the fact that they were so distraught about you being dead, but they still all showed up to work without no regard. Like, because if I found out somebody I worked with was dead, I would have some apprehension about showing up to work.
Well, it was the morning, it was the morning, and no one's working, in the morning. Like, I don't see these people till later, so I'm assuming the word had got out that I'm alive.
Okay.
So I'm assuming in the same group text that was sent out that I'm dead, the group text that I was alive also got that. But where I was disappointed was, I wish I was dead longer, because we had our meeting of, like, talking, about, the whole company and all that. They talking about stuff. And I was wondering, like, what would this meeting be like if I was dead? Would they have went on as business as full, or they'd be like, "Shit, Marcus is dead.
Marcus, you want to know
Let's take some time."
Would they have a moment of silence for you?
Yeah, just a moment. And so, yeah, So Eric, I believe the original phone calls were to confirm the kill.
So Eric, I believe you're one of Marcus's emergency contacts. I would presume.
Yeah. I would think so.
How would you have reacted had you received that call?
Well, you see,
one of Marcus's just to check. Well, it seemed like they weren't checking that he was dead. They were checking in that he was actually dead, so they rang his phone. So I'm assuming the next step would have been ring one of his emergency contacts to actually see if he was dead. So how would you have reacted if that call came to you?
Well, the thing is, this sounds awful because I just got finished making fun of his supervisor, but I would probably try to call his cell phone to see if he was dead. I think that's the first thing, because, and then I'll be like, fuck, he didn't give me none of his life insurance information. This is gonna be. I would probably be a mess. I would probably be a mess. We're not going to even talk about things like that. We should talk about more pleasant things like AEW or NXT or something of that nature. And then, of course, with someone actually really passing away, Animal from the Road Warriors, he did pass away.
That's what I got confused with, and I don't know why. And I was thinking, like, Animal died. Why are they connecting me to Animal? I was never the Road Warrior.
So, let's move on to AEW now that we've established you're alive.
Yes.
So on Tuesday, AEW aired a special late night Dynamite with Chris Jericho on commentary, and they opened up with Ben Carter from the UK versus Scorpio Sky. Eric, as you have seen this show and Marcus hasn't, tell me about this match, because I thought it was a great match.
Let me tell you something, brother. And quite frankly, I don't use that phrase lightly, because when I say that I saw something spectacular, something amazing, something wonderful, by far might have been one of the most enjoyable matches of AEW I've ever seen in my entire life. Since the inception of their company. And that's even with Chris Jericho on commentary, which I cannot stand because he's a tool of himself. But AEW, when they talk about the youth that they do have, when they highlight their youth, it is something magical. Ben Carter had star written on him. He reminded me of a Ricochet, a better version of whatever, Angelico, Jack Evans, a better version of him. He was athletic. His moves looked crisp. And then Scorpio Sky made him be the star that he needed him to be compared to what Cody did to Scorpio Sky. This match went through, I believe, 2 commercial breaks. And it was points that you knew Scorpio Sky needed to win this match. However, it was points where he was like, I don't think he's going to win this match anymore. And when watching AEW, when you take away that predictability, when you can just dispel all your disbelief and just enjoy the show for what it was, they accomplished so much with this late night Dynamite, which I think was probably the best episode of Dynamite that no one probably ever watched. And that's how I feel about that match and the show in entirety.
Well, it was a 1 hour show, so about 42 minutes of worth of TV.
Usually 45 minutes.
We got a Anna Jay versus Brandy Rhodes match, which if we ever talk about a shit sandwich, this was basically it. This match, both of these two need to stay on Dark for a bit. Stay on AEW Dark, improve, and then come back to TV.
I didn't see the match, but I can imagine that Brandy needs to go home.
Well, as someone,
Brandy definitely needs to, but like I think Anna Jay, you can see signs of improvement, and they're building her as a big deal in the Dark Order because she's number 99.
You could tell that Brandy hasn't had a singles match in almost over a year. I believe that was something that I read before that. She's just been in tag match and other things. The best thing about the match was that Brandy had good
either way.
But Brandy had new ring attire, which is like, you can't deny Brandy's an attractive young lady. Just the fact is that you don't really need her wrestling. Like this did absolutely nothing. Unless it's going to add to the storyline later on where emo Cody Rhodes pop back up, because are we going to have like gray-haired Brandy Rhodes show up now since she's been choked out a couple of times by Anna Jay? I
believe that's Candice LeRae's gimmick, and you can't take that.
You can, because that was black. It's different.
Yeah, but you can't take a white woman's gimmick. You know that.
Manny, what was your biggest problem with the match?
I just felt like these two had no chemistry, but like, anytime you watch a Brandy Rhodes match, it feels like she had no chemistry with anybody she goes in there with. So like she needs to get better, and the only way she's going to do that is being on AEW Dark, where not many people watch that. So she doesn't stick out like a sore thumb when she is in Dynamite.
I mean, it's funny because like I know one of her big things of why she went to AEW was because she really wanted to wrestle. I just think that the time is off, and I don't know if it's because they don't have the reps with each other or whatnot. But considering it wasn't the best match, it still wasn't the worst match, and it was passable to get to the main event, which I thought was a really good match that I don't understand why Sean Spears is not on more television, because his gimmick with the glove fighting Matt Sydal, I really enjoyed that main event for that night.
I thought it was good, but then I just remembered it was a Sean Spears match, and then I was like,
"The hatred."
So, Marcus,
not hatred. I feel like there's a ceiling for Sean Spears matches, and then it exceeded the expectations I normally have for Sean Spears matches, and it was like, hold on, did I enjoy a Sean Spears match? Yes, I did.
But man, you have to understand this. Like Sean Spears on his own doesn't really work. Sean Spears being aligned with Tully and probably FTR, it makes him look more dominant because how he wins the match, Marcus, is that Matt Sydal is giving him the business. There's even a point where he wipes the sweat off the turnbuckle, I guess, referencing back to what happened when he fell down from his flip. But then while Shawn Spears is outside, Tully Blanchard hands him a metal plate. He slides the metal plate into the palm of his glove, and I was like, I swear to God, they better not F this up and have him hit him with a fist to knock him out. But instead, he does a palm thrust, and he kills Matt Sydal and gets the win. And I was like, that's how Shawn Spears wins to me. Yeah, like, because he was mostly... Yeah. He hit him so hard, man. He got the 3 count and more. And then I guess the beatdown was going to happen more, and then Scorpio Sky came down to the ring to make the save for Matt Sydal because they were going to have a meetup later on and party like it was hard. But Late Night Dynamite was really fun. It was really fun.
I like that the most I heard about. Well, my summer from Late Night Dynamite because I had to watch it. Check out Ben Carter, and my question is Ben Carter black?
No, he's white.
No, he's
okay.
White.
He's 22 years old, Marcus.
If I was to say who he looked like, he'd look like Spanky back in the day when he was with Kendrick.
Or
when he was with
Paul London. Yeah, he was himself, Manny?
Or possibly a less tan Jungle Boy without the curly hair.
Okay. And then my second thing is Brandy Rose needs to stop wrestling.
I don't think you need to stop because she clearly wants to pursue that, but like she needs just to get better. And
what I'm hearing from it is that she was a dancer who wanted to be a singer, but you know what? Baby, you can't sing. You ain't got the voice for that. You ain't got the range.
No, Marcus, this is where I disagree with you because I think there is some potential, maybe small potential in Brandy in wrestling. The only thing is that the biggest problem in AEW is that they don't have any other experienced female wrestlers in the company. Like you put her in the ring with like a Mickie James will make Brandy look a lot better. You put her in the ring with a Natty, and I know we always make fun of Natty. Natty would make her look better. But the problem is that she's getting into a match with someone who's just as green as she is, and so it comes across clunky. And that's the biggest problem.
Okay.
She needs more experienced wrestlers to wrestle.
And the last thing I got, the Shawn Spears needs more TV time. Do you think I need to go back to watch this show? Like, is this something I need to say? Let me check this shit out.
Well, Marcus, it depends on what I hear. What you felt about AEW Dynamite?
Huh?
It depends on what you felt about Wednesday night episode of Dynamite.
No, I would say if there was one thing I would say to go back and watch, it would be Ben Carter versus Scorpio Sky because I personally think that. Because not many people watch that, it's going to be... Do you know when people call matches like a hidden gem?
Uh-huh.
This is what this is going to be referred to for AEW.
I'll go check out this Ben Carter Scorpio Sky just to see a black man get a win. But just to watch, just because I'm curious. Because Eric sold me as the greatest AEW match of all time. I mean, he on some Meltzer shit. He on some Meltzer shit right now.
It was really good, man. 4.5 stars.
But my opinion on Dynamite, if that's what we're going to jump into next, I may have enjoyed the show, but hated the ending.
Huh.
I think that's what.
Eric, are you sticking around for the rest of the show, or are you just?
Well, because I feel like if I stick around for the rest of the show, there's no reason for anybody else to watch the Saturday show. That's the things. But if you guys want me to stay, I can stay. I'm not doing anything else anyway.
I can say the same thing twice in the same week, baby.
Yeah, you know what? The audio people ain't never. I can stay around. Maybe I'll keep some of my takes. Let's roll with it, baby, because I have so many things to say.
Go grab a sandwich in the middle of this, all right? Go make yourself a sandwich, baby. Go make yourself a sandwich. Leave us an empty chair.
Well, I did make homemade biscuits, so that's different.
Biscuit ass eating, homemade ass. It wasn't from scratch.
It was from scratch.
Oh, you fancy ass shit.
Already started off a bit wild because they had to make changes to the show because the Murderhawk got exposed to COVID, or he tested positive to someone for COVID, and they changed the whole show. So we learned that the main event would be John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston for the AEW World Heavyweight title. But the show actually opened up with Kip Sabian and the best man Miro versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, who apparently are now going by the new Midnight Express
In the lost litigations going on about that? And there's some litigation, some paperwork, some lawyers involved in that?
I have no idea. And then I thought this match was alright. However, I didn't like the fact that no one checked on Kip Sabian when he clearly was dropped on his head on the concrete.
Yeah.
Like, you actually visibly heard Joey Janela ask him if he was alright on 2 occasions.
Yeah.
And no one checked on him. And I was like, this match needed to end. How did you guys feel about this match? Let's start with Marcus.
Okay. I thought it was nice, The best man Miro has a ring to it, even though I believe Eric hates the name and everything about it. I liked his attire. I hated the music because it just sounded stupid. I don't know. Maybe it grew on me. Overall, in the match, it was sloppy, like the falling on the head spots. They seemed to drop each other a lot, and there was a lot of mixed stuff. But, it was solid. It was okay. I just want, when people debut on AEW and you're coming from WWE, I don't think you need to start in a tag match. I think you need to start in like some type of squash match where you just beat the shit out of your opponent and be like, this is who he is. Like, no one gets that. Everybody got to have these. We got back and forth battles when it should just be a squash match, essentially.
So, before, I start off with this one, I want to point out that you guys, on your last video, it all goes down in the parking lot. Neil Ware comment, he says, how come no other promotions can hire former WWE wrestlers, but WWE can basically wrangle every independent promotion and impact TNA's wrestler? And I wanted to respond to that comment by saying that
I believe I answered that comment.
Oh, I don't get when you give responses, Manny.
There's a reply under there. There's replies under there. Yeah.
Oh,
but go ahead, give your take on it. Because you don't think Manny's was sufficient enough.
I didn't know Manny had one. I didn't know Manny had one. My take about it, I don't think people are upset that AEW are signing former WWE guys, because guess what? You have to sign people. The problem is that they're following the same formula that when you sign this WWE wrestler, you bring them in, and the first thing that they do is they talk about their former employee. I don't need that. I need them to be something fresh. I need them to be a new star. Now, that going into this match, no surprise, no spoiler, no doubt about it. I hated this match. You guys, I
didn't expect anything less from the hater.
I was not happy with the pairing of Kip Sabian, Penelope Ford, and the best man Rusev from the get-go. And this pairing for me just doesn't, I'm sorry, Miro. I got to call him by his new government name. I forgot he changed his name. This for me just took away from the credibility that Miro had. Miro looked in impeccable shape. He was in a really good ring attire, in my opinion, and he stood out as a singles competitor who is stuck in a tag team feud that doesn't make any sense. Because, the match started off with Joey Janela cutting a very awkward promo with Sonny Kiss standing behind him, and I don't know what Sonny Kiss was doing behind him, but they were cutting his promo, and, you're talking all this stuff, but then you get to the ring and you can't even understand the basic tag team mechanics of tagging. You cannot be inside of the ring and tagging your partner. It doesn't work that way. It was clunky. It was sloppy. And I need Miro to be separated from them at all costs. I give JR a lot of credit because JR was trying to point out that Janela and Penelope Ford had a relationship, and that's why he was trying to tell Sabian to avoid everything. I just need Miro to be on his own and pursue single opportunity. Manny, I guess you get to close it out of how you felt about the opening match.
Well, I felt like the streak of having two a very good tag match at the opening of Dynamite has been broken because they didn't put the Jurassic Express in the opening match. and that's what I got for the last 2 weeks, was a very good tag match to open up AEW. However, I didn't get that this time. It was just all right. So moving on, Eddie Kingston.
No, we don't just move on from this, Manny. We don't just move on from this.
Okay, so what would you like to say, Marcus?
I have nothing. I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry. I just wanted to troll. I was like, we just can't move on from this. There was nowhere else to go, to be honest.
So Eddie Kingston comes out reminding him and Moxley that he was never eliminated from the Casino Battle Royale, and that is why he's getting his title shot. And then if we didn't think of anything otherwise, he said 18 years says he deserves this shot. And then he goes on to say, me and John Moxley used to be cut from the same cloth, but then John sold out and went to the land of sports entertainers. I never did. However, they did offer him a contract, a trainer's contract. He turned it down. I stayed with the fighters, I stayed with the outlaws, and I didn't sell my soul to the devil, which leads to a pull apart. Now, what did you feel about this promo? I thought it was actually a solid promo once he got past that whole why he was getting a title shot.
Yeah, I thought Eddie Kingston went full Eddie Kingston right there. He went out there, he spoke his piece. The man's telling the truth. Out there yelling and ranting and raving. Sounds like a badass and everything. And you know what? I thought, this was the time when I wanted to see this fight when Moxie was coming down. And it was like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, I've been talking shit about you. And it made sense to me. And I thought this was a proper substitute over at COVID Lance Archer, the Murderhawk.
And for me, where it comes to one word that defines this whole entire segment for me: authentic. It felt authentic to me. It felt like, yes, Eddie Kingston and John Moxley were both part of that hardcore scene on the indie circuit, and the next thing you know, he sold out to go to sports entertainment. Like, this was one of the proper uses of taking a shot at WWE and also taking a shot at the champion John Moxley, because this could be a sore spot for him. Like, I'm still the same man that I used to be. That company didn't change me, and then it makes sense for the pull apart to happen. I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the build-up for the match. I actually thought it would probably be a better match than what Lance Archer and John Moxley can offer up. I just didn't like what happened at the end of the match, personally, for me. That's
we're at the match.
I don't know how your show flows. I don't know if you guys go in order or you just talk about how stuff.
Yeah, we kind of do whatever.
Yeah, well, we can talk about the match.
Let's talk about the match. Yeah, fucked up the show, Eric.
I'm sorry. That's what I do, baby. That's what I do.
I'm just playing.
That's what I do, baby.
It was for me. Like it had a decent back and forth, but it was just like it ended, and then like it ended with chaos to end the show, and it was like, I don't enjoy this. How about you, Marcus?
No, it was a really awkward ending. I watched it, moments ago as I was kind of nodding off anyway. I finished my shift and then I went straight into the main event. And I was like, I guess, okay. And then the ending with the, I don't know what they call themselves with, Lucha Bros and everything, jumping them. But I feel like that was a side quest or something that Moxie's involved in when he should be headed toward the Murderhawk. And I know that they have their COVID situation, and apparently multiple people have tested positive this week on the tapings of Dynamite. So it was whatever. I just thought it was a weird ending. It just felt awkward. I was like, this is the end? All right, whatever. Traditional pull apart.
Well, for me,
it's more hype. The match was just more hype. The hype will be better than the match always. And that's an Eddie Kingston trope, I believe. He can sell you on anything, but then most of his matches are kind of like, okay, whatever.
I mean, I think I would disagree with you at this. I thought the match was fine. I thought the match was hard hitting. I thought the fact that Eddie Kingston was hitting the shit out of John Moxley until his chest was turning purple, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the commentators pointing that out, that they were having a hard hitting thing. What I did not like was the finish, as you said, because I know before Lance Archer tested positive for COVID or whatever happened, tell me how my ass tastes, Taz. You talk about you want not a sloppy shot, but I guess people get sick there too. And when you show the audience members, people not wearing masks, people not putting their mask on properly, maybe putting people in the audience might not be the best decision to do right now. But I'm going to get off my high horse right then and there. At the end, it felt like...
No, stay on your soapbox, sir.
It felt like that they advertised the main event being a 6-man tag, so they need to have some way to get Darby Allin, Will Hodge onto the screen with John Moxley, and that's why we had the Lucha Brothers come out and attack him afterwards. And I think they even made it next week. They're going to have a match or something of that nature. And I was like, I really didn't need that, and I didn't care for the ending. I just thought it was forced.
Yeah, and then so let's get back on track with the order of the show. I'm not going to talk about this match. Evil Uno versus Hangman Page. Hangman Page won.
Can I talk about Kenny Omega being shit on commentary? Shut him the fuck up. Kenny Omega is terrible.
This is 2 weeks running that he's done.
Yeah, he is absolute trash. Just absolute trash. Just a reminder.
So they went backstage, and then we got Tony Schiavone talking to the Young Bucks. Well, Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks, and they're saying that they never should have done what they did. People should sympathize with them because they're going through a lot. They've lost title opportunities and friends.
That sounded like Matt. I was like, who's in the room? That's Matt Jackson.
And they avoided questions about FTR, and then Matt Jackson smashes Tony's phone and then gives him money to replace it. I'm not sure about you, but if someone tried to do that to me, if he tried to do that to me, that Christian boy would be seeing God right now. # dead bucks.
Can I go first on this one?
Yes, you
Go ahead. Go ahead, my brother.
My biggest issue about this entire segment, and I had issues with Matt's all throughout the night of AEW, from Matt Hardy to Matt Jackson, was the fact that this happened in
Matt
the middle.
Cardona?
Matt Cardona hasn't been seen since. They realized that probably cost too much money for that. But the fact
What about
that
Matt Sydal?
Oh.
he was on late Dynamite, he wasn't on real Dynamite, so no one knows that he really exists. But with that being
They got
said,
too many Matts.
it's like when Matt Jackson busted open Tony Schiavone's phone, he didn't react. Also, this happened early in the night. If this fool had busted open my phone, I've been talking about this shit all night. You should have started off Impact with this segment so Tony Schiavone could be pissed off. But instead, he took the smashing of his phone like, well, this is his part. I was trying to get me a new phone anyway. I guess this is how it goes. Here I come, new iPhone 12. It just pissed me off. I was like, I didn't need this. Didn't need the interview. Yeah. Man, he looked like you want to say something.
Before Marcus speaks on this, JR did try to sell us that be prepared for about what you're about to watch. When they went back, when they showed that clip, I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
but
Marcus,
I did. The one thing I did like, it was that when he opened up the door and he flinched, and he was like, hey, you flinching, what's wrong? And it's like, okay, that was funny. But everything else went downhill.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm not really caring about this Young Bucks. I guess emo. I don't even know what they're going through. Them going through their emotions, them feeling their emotions, or throwing money all over the place. I kind of just don't care. I just don't care. And then they broke Schiavone's phone, and it's like, whatever. It's a dick move, but that's all it was.
How could somebody tell Schiavone if he was dead or not if he doesn't have a phone to call nobody?
Oh, it's close. It's too close. That's too soon.
I'm gonna leave the TNT Championship match till the end. So we get Matt Hardy and the Private Party come up. It turns out Matt Hardy conducted a little investigation of who attacked him.
Wasn't he supposed to be on TV? Didn't he say he was going to take time off?
Yes, he did.
Excuse me. He has yet to miss a Dynamite.
And he named his prime suspect to be Chris Jericho.
Wow. Some detective.
And then he hit us with an incredible line, I think, from Matthew Hardy. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Chris Jericho, you want to be known as the million view man, the demigod, but you will always be known as an asshole.
There it is. There it is.
Then Jericho did come out and then said that he's better than hitting people from behind. He'd like to do it in your face so you could see him smiling as he enjoyed doing it.
Yeah. So,
which is leading to it's not even a private party match, it's an Isaiah Cassidy versus Chris Jericho match. And he wants to make Chris Jericho his little champion bitch.
Oh! Spicy. Spicy. Get these old men off my TV to crow a wise man in the mid-card match round. Get these old men off my TV. There's all that young talent in the inner circle, but yet we're focusing on Jericho versus Matt Hardy. And I don't need it. Matt Hardy needs to be on TV. He seemed like he was slurring his words and concussed. And this is where Taz needs to shut up about sloppy shop. They don't take care of their wrestlers at all. People falling on their head, clearly dying. Kip Sabian died on this episode. Matt Hardy died a few weeks ago. They just keep using people, and they're trying to do this cover-up that he doesn't have a concussion. He's clearly concussed. He is clearly still concussed.
I can see by the way Eric's looking, he's salivating to want to talk about this segment.
Hey.
I mean, this segment just had so much going on. Like, first, Matt Hardy could even get, I forgot what phrase he was trying to get out, but he was so concussed he couldn't even get the simple phrase out. It was like, fuck, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But then, like,
was that Matt Hardy or was that you?
No, it was Matt Hardy. But
are you concussed?
Yeah,
are you concussed?
I banged my head before I walked in because I thought Marcus was dead, and then I realized he wasn't. But so the thing is, you throw in the fact that they have Sammy Guevara return. Didn't realize he was out hurt because I didn't know what happened last week, and it's just like, I'm so tired of Jericho. There is no money in Jericho versus Matt Hardy. There is no money in Mark Quinn versus Jericho or anybody in the inner circle. They don't need to be interacting with each other. You have so much untapped talent on your roster. You need to start being the company that you promoted yourself as, the company of change and newness, and put some of that new talent on TV. Do I need to hold up the sign that says, please give me some Ben Carter on AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite? I like, they announced that on October 7th, because I'm assuming next week won't be live, it's going to be the Jericho Appreciation Day. I don't need a Jericho Appreciation celebration. It's like every 3 months we're doing something for Jericho. We need to stop.
It's not every 3 months. It's every month.
We need to stop taking the attention off of Jericho. I actually thought the inner circle was dead, but they're not. And then, like, Pride and the Powerful walking out with him after they got beat up. It's like, they was destroyed last week. As Manny says, where are the medical precautions at? Like, they shouldn't be there.
I feel like that was me that said that, but I just want to give credit to Manny. Like, I don't care about people's well-being or nothing, but
Marcus, you care about people. Mark, you were dead. You're back today. You're the Undertaker. We could call you the dead man.
You're the second person to call me the Undertaker in 24 hours.
He's Marcus the Dead finale.
Hold on. See if I can roll my eyes. I don't know. I think I'm just having a stroke.
Please never do that again.
I'm having a stroke.
If there's a YouTube god, that would be the random screenshot that this would save.
Well, you see, Eric, we produce thumbnails over on the Manny and Marcus show.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see this right here. Oh, Steve Austin. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
You could take those two fingers and shove up your face.
Yeah. Because we should end this with calling you a bitch. Because that's what happens in wrestling.
And then I'm gonna say shit.
Oh! Wow, we're TV14. But with that being said, what did you guys think of the private party? Mike Word. I thought they were terrible.
Wait, let me. Can I come here? Like,
and I thought Cassidy was better than Quinn.
At this point,
yeah.
At this point, Sharpie wife is with me, and she says is he foreign or something? Is he from France or something like that? I was like, why? Because she was like, well, he's talking with some type of accent, and then he says Le Champion. And at this point, I had already checked out of this segment, so I was looking at my phone and shit. So I had to rewind. And I was like, no, that's what Jericho calls himself, Le Champion. I was like, you get Matt Hardy to be their mouthpiece, and then Matt Hardy can't talk, and now you got to try to make them talk. And it's like, I don't need them talking at all. Private Party, they need some seasoning. They need to go back to the lab.
Well, the worst part about this is the moment I saw these three standing together, I thought they looked like a wannabe hip hop group with their sleazy manager.
We're gonna book you, man. I got you some dates and I got you some places to be. Like, to me, it was like, this is the what if you ordered the Street Profits on Wish instead of Amazon? Because, like, it was that, and I appreciate Dawkins even more on the mic when you hear the private party start talking. Yeah, man, yeah.
Wow.
That's what I got from this.
I'll tell you, I will never get the private party Wish Street Profits out of my head. That's who they are. They are the Wish Street Profits.
It's Matt Hardy Bianca. That was going on with that.
So speaking how we are TV14, something that wasn't TV14 was FTR and Tully, but mostly when Chuck came out and called FTR Wees. So
I enjoyed this.
So basically, FTR are now doing a 20-minute brush with greatness. If their opponents don't win 20 minutes, FTR get a win in the win column. And that's about it. And they get to pick their opponents. Next week it'll be FTR SCU, but then Best Friends come out. What do you think about this segment, guys? Eric, let's go with you.
Oh, okay.
Let's go with Eric.
So we're going with me. So this is also a great moment for me because I don't like the challenge. And then when Trent and Chucky came out, as long as Trent was talking, I was buying. I was okay with him. I was like, it's fine.
You always love Trent, baby. You love me some Trent.
And I love me some Trent. You know I do. And I was like, you know what? They earn a shot. And then like the whole clever rules of we're gonna have this match right now because they was wearing their red underwear. And I was like, okay, I know this match is not gonna happen. And then, like I said, Sharpie wife was in there with me and she's watching this. And so when they walked out and Chucky T grabbed the microphone, he called them a weenie. She was like, what? That's what he said? And I was like, I hate that guy so much. She was like, I do too. And at that point, it summed up that segment for me that Chucky T ruined this entire segment for what it was worth.
So what you're saying is your wife has just as much hate in her as you have in yourself.
For Chucky T.
Eric is just a bad influence. That's what it is.
He's just installing hate into his wife. So stemming hate throughout the entire family.
He's been indoctrinated.
Yeah.
But you act like it was any better for you guys.
No, Chucky T was ass, and MTR totally was where it was really at, and that they were selling that they're gonna do 20. The brush at 20 minutes of greatness. I enjoy that teams will get a chance to fight them. You have 20 minutes to beat them, and otherwise they retain. I enjoyed them changing rules to tag team wrestling, and everything they said. I was like, yeah, this is the team. They are the number one tag team right now.
So, I believe my favorite match of Dynamite, and this wasn't even that good, was Ivelisse and Diamante versus Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. It was the match of the night, but there was not to compare it to. It was also very scrappy. They didn't have. There was beef from last week between Thunder Rosa and Ivelisse when they were throwing stiff shots at each other during the match. It was just like, I feel like that carried on into this week. This match was good, but then it was just like there was flaws all over it. What about you? How do you feel about this, Marcus?
Yeah, I thought it was heavily flawed, but the thing that is getting to me is that Shida is just background noise. She's supposed to be the champion. I was more interested in everybody in this match but the champion Shida. Like Thunder Rosa being NWA champion, fighting all over the world. Then you got the scrappy tag team, the Sicarias, you got all that shit. And I'm just more interested in everybody but Shida in that match and what she was going to do next. I was more like, Thunder Rosa's the champ. She's the NWA Women's Champion. I don't know why we're looking at Shida. But my favorite line from JR, the NWA Women's Champion and the AEW Women's Champion teaming together, where else other than Dynamite will you even think about seeing something like this? I was like, well, it would be an AEW or NWA show, JR. Where else? like, it doesn't seem like that would happen anywhere else.
And like for me, Marcus, I'm going to come in and I'm going to piggyback on what you said because, like we are brothers and we should piggyback off of each other. When it comes to the NWA champion Thunder Rosa, she does look like the bigger star. At the end of the day, she did her bid already. She was at that pay-per-view. I don't think she needs to be on Dynamite anymore because when you hold up the NWA title next to that AEW toy belt, it looks like a joke. It was like, I don't need them teaming up with each other to fight Ivelisse and Diamante. Then I asked this question also. Why are Diamante and Ivelisse even teaming up together? I understood they won the Dark Draw tag team tournament, but there's no tag team women's title, so there's really no reason for them to be teaming up together when the only goal that you can have is individual goal. The best part about the match for me, quite frankly, is when Ivelisse and Diamante forgot who was the legal person, and the illegal person tried to pin the legal person, and then Ivelisse got back in the ring. Wait, you just tagged me in. I mean, overall, Thunder Rosa, it was nice, but now you need to go back to NWA.
There ain't no back.
Well, but I'm just saying, she, like you said, she looks stronger than the AEW champion, and that's a problem. That's a real problem.
Well, my problem is I hope they're not featuring people that they don't have under contract more. Like, what if they don't get Thunder Rosa and then here comes Vince? I'm throwing the bag at Thunder Rosa, or Ben Carter. I don't know if he's under contract or not, but he ain't now see All Elite because everybody that gets a contract got to become All Elite, get the poster. So I just hope that they're not featuring random people and saying they ain't gave the money to yet.
Yeah,
They get
that
snatched.
make
They may
100%
get snatched by Impact or WWE, or even
So
Ring of Honor if that exists.
So I've left this to last. Orange Cassidy versus Brodie Lee, TNT Championship match. What do you first feel about the match? Let's start with Eric.
I feel that if you've seen one Orange Cassidy match, you've seen them all. And that's the biggest problem with Orange Cassidy, in my opinion, is that Orange Cassidy, when he had the match against Pac, he surprised a lot of people. It was like, oh, wow, he can really go. But since that match he's had with Pac, he's had the exact same match with just different opponents, and it's frustrating. I think the best thing that happened in this match is when he tried this little kick gimmick. Brodie Lee looked at him like, man, I ain't got time for your shit. But then it just got really stupid, the point where he was trying to land his finisher and Orange Cassidy kept falling down. I'm like, well, then pin the man if he can't stand up. And they had to protect him with the outside interference of the Dark Order. But, Brodie Lee should have made short work of this. But I'm glad that Emo Cody's back.
Yeah,
So that's the most hateful thing you've said so far.
What? Oh, about Orange Cassidy?
Yeah.
Okay,
full of hate. But my brother, I do agree with you that I wish Brodie would have killed him like he killed Cody.
Exactly.
Cody got the business. As JR said, it was 3 minutes and some change, and Cody's ass was beat and hospitalized.
Marcus,
That's why I wanted to happen to Orange Cassidy.
Marcus, Cody's ass got beat so bad his hair turned black.
He knocked the bleach out of his hair.
Yeah.
He knocked the bleach out that boy hair. Shit. He knocked his ass back because apparently I didn't know Cody was had his mother was Hispanic, or I always remember it and forget it. But he knocked the Spanish off that dude. He brought him back. His Spanish hair didn't much. He knocked him back into that. That's what he did. But I wanted Orange Cassidy to get killed. Brodie Lee came off as the man. He seemed like he was the man in this match. He was diving. He had his goons working for him. This should have been over. Should have been quick work. And then Cody comes out with the most dramatic entrance of any entrance of ever. The Undertaker ain't never returned like this. Cody came back with it. Pyro. It was black as the night. It was a spectacle. And you know what? I didn't hate it. Man. I was like, go ahead and do your thing, Cody. This is your company. This is your world, man.
Nah, fam. I got My Chemical Romance Dark Parade singing when he came. All that fucking needed was like eyeliner.
Hey, Manny,
that look
what's
would have
wrong
been
with
sold.
that? I'm all about the Black Parade. Let's go.
He don't need to.
Cody looked like one of those tattoo artists that's in the back in the deep corner with his suit that takes his tattooing too seriously with his neck tattoo. I thought his suit was on point. I appreciate his suit. I thought, I enjoy Cody being back. When Cody's on TV, he's the one constant thing on AEW that I like.
He looked like a sober version of the dude that's from Green Day. I forget his name.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe. No, Billy Joe's the other guy, right?
Billy Joe, sorry.
Oh, shit. Either one. Either one of those emo people. But he came back. It was dramatic. And then I really enjoyed them coming back with commercial and Brodie taking the microphone and get out of here, bitch! I gotta yell. You ain't a man. You ain't a man, Cody. You ain't a man. And I'm gonna put this dog collar around your neck. I was feeling his promo and frustration, his craziness, until he decided to pull out the dog collar and said we having a dog collar back. Because that is so unnatural.
His best line was, "What kind of man lets his wife post Instagram thirst traps while calling me daddy?"
Yeah, he was rolling. But I felt the dog strap thing was so unnatural. He's like, I got the chain there. I'm going to put it around your neck, Cody. I'm going to have you barking like a dog. And I'm like, why? How did we escalate to that?
But the fact, though, that also that Brodie Lee is a cult leader and he's questioning how Cody is letting his woman put out thirst traps, it's like it's so judgmental. And then the greatest thing is
daddy.
that Brandy even posted another picture that was thirst trapping more and had some things. I was like, this is the storyline and motivation I need to have in wrestling. Like, clearly Brodie doesn't like Cody and Cody doesn't like Brodie, and you look forward to this rematch.
I was irritated by this. I was irritated by all of it, to be honest. The Orange Cassidy stuff is an afterthought to me. It was all about Brodie and Cody and the promo, the thirst trap, and the dog collar. But to me, that was pro wrestling. That was some 1980s pro wrestling shit right there.
And I think we all said that we didn't like Orange Cassidy being placed in that situation in that match with Brodie Lee in the first place because it was like a lose-lose situation. Like, Brodie Lee has become a dominant TNT champion. For him to lose the title to Orange Cassidy just didn't make any sense to me. Oh, hell, guys, Cody. And
we should probably move on because we've spent nearly 40 minutes on AEW as a whole.
And guess what? Wow. On Saturday, we'll do it again.
Can't help ourselves.
So
we're thirst trapping.
NXT kicks off with the women's over-the-top battle royal, determining the number one contender to Io Shirai. There was a lot of women in that match that I haven't seen before.
That's and the best way to put that.
To open up the match, they showed a clip of Candice destroying Tegan Nox in the back, first hitting with a lead pipe and then ramming a metal case into her knee.
I swear to God!
The worst part about this beatdown was the fact that she was still wearing wings when she did it.
And Manny, can you hit the tick so we can have the respect to NXT so we can show that we're talking about NXT because you still got AEW Dynamite up there? Hey, thank you, sir. Thank you. There we go.
I like to say that it's not up there, but I want to say the fact that I feel like before any Tegan Nox match, someone's attacking her knee, and I think she needs to take more precautions and get Goldberg security before her matches because it's ridiculous. Every single Tegan Nox match, she gets attacked. She gets attacked from the back, whether it's Candice or Dakota or whoever. Everybody got to get some of Tegan before she gets her match. Like, that's the secret to Tegan. Just knock her out before the match.
I mean, when you think about this is all Johnny Gargano's fault. Because when the camera shut off after that dinner, he told Candice, you got to get that bitch. She fucked up my TV, man. We got to get payback. So it's been a whole week. Candice LeRae was plotting how to get Tegan Nox, or Johnny wouldn't forgive her. And she got her ass. That's what Tegan gets. That's what happens when you run away from the house like Tegan did. She knew she did some wrong. Coming to the great Gargano's household, breaking bread with them and breaking their TV. Man, that's why you don't let rabble-rousers into your home. You just don't do it.
And then you break their knee if they fuck up.
Goddamn right.
But back to this battle royal of all the NXT Performance Center women getting the payday. Catalina Garcia. I believe Jessica Man in there. She was never in shape.
But man,
we all know who she was.
She let herself go even more.
No. She just got fat ass. Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
You know, and if you put it that way, I will.
Eric, leave her alone. She's living her best life. Leave her alone.
I didn't think she'd last this long in the company, to be honest, when she first showed up on Raw. But that ass is traveling. You also had Casey Canizaro, who decided to do every single Kofi spot in the single fucking match. You wasting your Kofi spots. You save those for the Rumble. You don't do that on TV. You can't just be doing Kofi spots on TV. I mean, it was impressive. It was nice. Although I think they need to adopt the elbow/shoulder/back rule when you're eliminated. It shouldn't just be feet. I think somebody needs to clarify these rules, like the catch.
My favorite spot, though, is when she's walking on the apron and she's holding onto the plexiglass, and then the plexiglass kind of pulls away and she almost falls, but the camera just jerks really quick and turns around, so she might have actually fall, but we didn't see because of the camera, and it comes back and she's standing up there again. I was like, man, I know her ass fell. She didn't make it.
She done bit it. But yeah, I enjoyed those spots, and then you had Ripley and Raquel go at the, try to kill each other. And I mean, we already had the Battle of the Badasses. Do we get the Battle of the Badasses too? Do they get their bad motherfucking title for Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez? Because that's what I got. I thought Raquel was taking this at some point.
I thought I thought who had the most lackluster performance in the whole entire Battle Royal was probably Dakota Kai. Like, she was an afterthought. Like, the only time you even realized she was in the match is once Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley got eliminated. Then they showed, what would Dakota Kai do now? And then she shortly got eliminated after that. It was amazing seeing all these no-name people. And still, for whatever reason, I like Indy Hartwell. Don't know why. And she got a steak attitude. She reminds me of a better steak version of Peyton Royce. And so I enjoyed this battle royal. I didn't want to like it, but I did.
Are you going to replace Peyton with Indy Hartwell? Or are you going to do that with black wrestlers?
No, well, because at one point I thought she was black, but then I found out she's not. She's Australian, but whatever.
You can be black and Australian.
Well, I guess that's true too.
Wow, did you not understand that? Wow. How old are you?
Mind blown.
Wow.
She could be Kiwi.
Kiwi. Huh.
What? So what? She can't be. Black people can be from New Zealand too.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Let's move on.
No, it's too late. It's too late.
It's too late. Your inadequacies have been brought up on the show.
Yeah. So the winner of this battle royal was Chicken LeRae, Candice LeRae, and I believe she's going to lose to Io Shirai. I don't see any reason why she should win, ever.
The thing about this match that I really enjoyed, it didn't feel like any other battle royal I've seen in a while, especially because Casey was using the entire bit of ringside. But then, like, you had Shotzi and Candice just fighting on the steps towards the end. It's almost when you get towards the end of Fortnite, when the world's closing in on you, and you're just fighting around this tiny area.
Yeah, it reminded me of any movie when they're just fighting all over the place. They're on the roof, and the roof is collapsing, and then one guy has to fall, or one person got to fall over and die. And that's what happened here. And, Shotzi got flipped over and died.
What I thought was very good, I think it was just a good example of WWE doing good storytelling and foreshadowing what was going to happen. I think all the Casey spots and things like that of making emphasis on her feet not hitting the ground made the ending spot between Candice LeRae and Shotzi Blackheart that more special, because you've already seen people avoid from touching their feet, touching the ground. So it's like, oh, this bitch is on the stairs. So when Shotzi is like pushing her with the foot and Candice is holding on the stairs, it's like, is that foot going to fall? And then it's like, it built up the anticipation. And that's what I really enjoyed about NXT.
It became the floor is lava match.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
And if you play Battleground, you know exactly what that means. When that ground starts exploding, you try to pick up your opponent and throw him on that damn fire.
All right.
I will destroy you in Battlegrounds.
You probably will.
Oh.
But the chef has been made. The chef has been made.
I see Manny steroid dude up. He'll fuck somebody up. He looks like Brian Cage.
I've got footage of me destroying Kerry. What time do you call this, Luchadork? It's nearly 8 o'clock.
Well, he's the champion. He shows up when he wants to show up.
No, I told him if he turns up late again, he loses a point.
The Carol Commission is trying to. By the way, there's a title defense this week, right?
Yeah. Where's the Luchador?
Yeah,
rematch of our rematches.
I've been waiting to see it. I want this to be a trilogy. I want this to be Ali Frazier.
No, it's the bogus title held by Wes versus the actual champion, El Luchador.
Who has actually the only claim of fame of successfully defending that title.
He's the only person to make history with that title.
I'm the only person to never win the title. It was 100%. It was like, no, but I mean, like, I'm the only person I won the title, but I'm saying I'm the only person who the title was defended against and didn't win it.
You lost it to me, and then I got stripped over a bad stipulation.
No.
You guys use my words again. Can we continue with NXT, people?
So, Ciampa destroyed Atlas. We're not talking about that.
That was actually a good match. I thought Atlas, for the most part, he came out with enough intensity, but not enough to really justify what Ciampa did to him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he got fucked up. That's all that was. On the side note of all this, what did you guys think of the commentating? Like the makeshift team they put? Tom Phillips was there for some reason. Because Vic Joseph is gone for whatever reason, and Wade Barrett wasn't there.
Tom Phillips is always good, so I don't care. I could have Tom Phillips on every show, and I wouldn't care.
Mark, do you realize you were the only person that had hated Tom Phillips? So like,
no, I didn't hate Tom Phillips. I hated the original version of Tom Phillips. He upgraded himself after he got fired the first time. But wait, it was just a lot of missing parts. Like we got that tag match that was of Danny Burch and Roderick Strong against Raul Mendoza and Fabian Eichner, who apparently is not going back to the UK anytime soon.
I just want to say that I thought NXT did a very good job of coping with their COVID problems and producing a good show, to the point where they did it so well. It took me about 30 to 40 minutes into the show that I realized there were actually nobody surrounding the ring. And I was like, wow, they're not there. And it still didn't bother me.
There wasn't?
No one was around the ring. They piped in audio like perfect, and that tells you how engaged into the product you were that you didn't notice it wasn't people around the ring. And El Luchadork, I did talk about the fire Cody suit, the suit that Cody had on. That Manny still feels he's My Chemical Romance.
I heard that his father took him to the city to see a marching band.
The savior of the city.
The broken. Yeah.
You know what? When I go to
join the Black Parade,
Father, could you be the sinner?
Do you think he took him to see the Million Man March? When he went to
knows?
Black Parade?
Can we stay focused on NXT, Marcus? God damn you! God damn you!
So we have.
It was a Laker championship.
The beating, the broken, and the damn.
We had Fandango in the back making up his own rules to a match.
He was.
So he combined one person from every team into a match, and then the winning team would then face each other for a future NXT title match against Breezango. This match was won by Roderick Strong and Danny Burch. I thought it was a solid match, but I didn't have high expectations for it.
No, I mean, like, I thought it was a good match, but my favorite thing about this entire match was the fact that, Manny, I saw you as William Regal walking into the back, hear Ryan come up with some hang brain scheme of how to make the show work, and it's like, fuck it, let's just do it, because that's what Regal seemed like. It was like, man, I ain't got nothing better. Let's just have these mixed match tag teams fight each other, and like Raul Mendoza being teamed up with
Fabian
Eichner, it's so hilarious to me beyond belief, because they should never be teamed up but it was a fun match.
Yeah, it was a fun match. I enjoyed it, but it was so convoluted on why they're together. This ruling reminded me of, like, you know, Eric, we played Uno with Alexis that time. There was that one card that's blank where you can write in your own rule. And I felt like this is what happened here, and it just wasn't effective. It's just not an effective rule. Like, Alexis' rule, what was hers? Like, oh, you have to do something, and it ended up costing her the game.
Yeah.
So that's what I felt like happened here with Fandango and William Regal when they came up with this.
So I guess the question that we need to ask is that, and we probably can answer this on the main show for time's sake, is who came up with a better tag team opponent stipulation? FTR with a 20-minute challenge, or Fandango and his mismatched challenge of teams going to fight?
The brush of gold, baby. The brush of gold. It's a brush of gold.
Brush of gold. So I thought we had a very good match after this. Austin Theory versus Damian Priest. I feel like it back and forth. Damian Priest just hasn't disappointed in a long time.
Yeah. He looks like the man. Like, I don't know what's going on with Priest or what he got on lately, but he on some bullshit where he looked like the man.
He hopped in that hot tub, and ever since he got out that hot tub, he's what Garza wants to be, because not only but see,
that man ugly.
No, but he's ugly, but he's confident, because like Garza comes across desperate trying to get these women to pay attention to him. He just literally, after he had his interview, he was like, "Theory slide will continue." He was like, "And I'll see you at the after party." And Sarah Striver was like, "What?" But she was like, "I'm intrigued though. I'm intrigued."
And you don't need to get in that tub.
She don't need to get to that tub.
You don't get that tub with those skanks.
I really enjoyed the match. I think Austin Theory is one of the bright spots of NXT, despite all the, behind the scenes stuff that's going on. He's one of the better performers. And Damian Priest is actually becoming the person who he had the look to be. Like, he's looking dominant.
When he opened the door, because Johnny Gargano attacks with the match, and Johnny and Candice doing it. He opened the door. There's Johnny. Oh shit!
he punched the shit out of Johnny, and then the fact that Johnny's complaining about a sucker shot was one of my favorite moments, because you hear Damian Priest like, "You did it first. You did it first," and it's like,
yeah, but Damian Priest walked across the room. It's not really a sucker shot. When you attacked me earlier, I open the door and say, "There's Johnny," and walks to punch you. It's not acceptable. You should be ready for that punch. You should be ready.
But the greatest moment for me was that the Teddy Long in my head kicked it. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a tag match." I was like, "This is a tag match. It's Damian Priest and EO."
I knew that the moment they both stepped up to EO, I was like, "This is gonna be a tag match."
Yeah, once EO, I was like, it somehow turned into a tag match. It was like, it made all the. It's like it's WWE booking 101 right there. Tag match.
Well, AEW would have had it booked already. They would just already been tagging up. It'd been 6 and 8 men already in the ring. Like, here we go.
Before the backstage segment even happened to justify this match, it's already happening.
Yep. Here comes Darby Allin. I don't know. I always felt like that's the thing.
And then we had a squash match for Ridge Holland versus Antonio DeLuca. Holland just, when he did that pounce, it took me back. It felt like I got hit with a pounce and got sent through time. And to see Monty Brown.
The evolution. Period. Somewhere Monty Brown is crying of all these motherfuckers stealing his move. Every big man has a pounce.
This is the only pounce that I feel like looked effective on screen.
But Ridge looks effective. Ridge looks like he's going to be the man as well. And this is the matches I wish AEW had. Just a good old-fashioned, I'm going to beat some no-name guy's ass, and it ain't going to be a back and forth. I'm not trying to get nobody else over, but the one guy I want to get over, and that's Ridge Holland.
And Marcus, it's amazing that you brought up AEW, because when I saw that moment, the first thing I said, why couldn't Miro have this type of match, this type of debut for AEW? I mean, it's just that, like, Ridge Holland looked like the real deal. He came out there, he had his little Billy, he whooped ass. Then Luca, like, if they changed his name next week to Tony Garza, we wouldn't know the difference, because he's somebody that we're not supposed to remember.
Well,
and that's what I enjoy about
that got his name to Desmond Troy. That's still a crime of the year. I'm not going to let that rest. Desmond Troy needs to go back to being Denzel Desjardins.
Mark, Denzel Desjardins is too much to say, man. I can see Tom Phillips big jokes of it, like saying, "Hey, I need an easier name to say. Denzel Desjardins. That's just too many words for me."
Oh, and Adonis, Ashanti Adonis is easy to say.
Marcus, I'm not supporting Ashanti Adonis at all. I'm not. That's not a name.
So moving on, fellas, to the main event, the Gauntlet Eliminator match, a.k.a. the Elimination Chamber without the chamber. So it started off with Kushida and Kyle O'Reilly. They were followed by Bronson Reed, which was then Velveteen Dream comes out while Kyle O'Reilly took a wicked bump on the outside, hit the Dream Valley Driver on Kushida. Bronson Reed hits I don't like that calling it the tsunami, because that was a horrific event.
Oh, this is horrible.
If I see that much man falling off the top rope on top of me, I kind of feel like that's a tsunami for me, man. I think that's a proper.
Man, I'm calling that the timber. That's safe.
I'm calling it. Fat motherfuckers jumping on me. That's what that is. Jesus, that's a lot of man to be jumping on somebody.
Following Kushida's elimination, it was met with Timothy Thatcher, followed by Cameron Grimes. This is where business picked up, guys. Business had picked up. The match turned up a gear. Kyle O'Reilly eliminates Bronson Reed. He also then eliminates Thatcher. And then the final match between Grimes and Kyle was insane. And Kyle O'Reilly wins with a knee bar. How do you feel about that?
I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. When it came down to Grimes and O'Reilly, I didn't know what was going to happen. I was rooting for Kyle O'Reilly from the word go. I've always enjoyed Kyle O'Reilly throughout his career, and I even thought he was a good singles wrestler when he was going through the New Japan Junior Cup or whatever it's called. And, you know, seeing the little bits with him and Kushida and him and Thatcher, and like, I was like, Kyle deserved to win this. And then Kyle won, and I was like, that's the man right there. That's the man. And I was happy, and I know he's going to lose to Balor, but whatever.
You know, for me, it's not often where you get a match that you have 5 participants that I have very positive feelings about, and I can make an argument for each individual to win this match. And that was the best thing about going into this match, is that you really had no inclination of who was going to win the match. The whole Velveteen Kushida thing, you can throw that to the side. I don't know where they're going with that, but whatever. You can.
He hates his ass. He goes up to kids, and I
don't know.
And Kushida has a problem with it. Kushida started fire Velveteen Dream.
So Eric, I have a feeling this is the reason why it's only El Luchadork in the chat today. Me and Marcus last week, well, it was mostly me, wanted Velveteen and Austin Theory to team together, and then their entrances, they stand on a float and get pushed to the ring by children.
Is allegations.
Is that why everybody quit your show?
I feel like that's why no one's in the chat this week.
Yeah, Manny, I believe the tag team still should be known as instead of allegations, allegations. They got allegations.
With that being said, back to my main event. I thought this was a very excellent match, and you know I was loyal to Cameron Grimes to win, but at the same time, Kyle O'Reilly getting the victory and getting the face Finn is something that I really like. As Marcus has said, we've always been big supporters of Kyle. You know, we just knew that Kushida's saving the kids. You got there right, he is. I thought everyone looked amazing in this match. I thought from Thatcher, from Reed, I thought Reed looked the best. Personally, as I was telling Manny in the pre-show meeting, my favorite spot is when he thought about diving and then he realized he had too much to lose, so he went out to the ring, and then Beth explained the risk-taking that he couldn't take. And the next thing you know, maybe a couple of minutes, he takes that risk without any thought because he had to put all his cards on the table. And I was like, I love those little things that happen in wrestling. Right. And I thought it was a great way to close out NXT.
I want to say, you know, I'm not a man that like to give out these stars and shit, but to me, this was a 5-star match. I was completely entertained throughout this match, and I thought everybody was amazing in it. And I thought everybody had their play. They all had their individual stories. I'm tired of seeing Thatcher lose, but that man gonna lose all the time. The one thing in this match that, you know, I was like, whatever, was, you know, like the commercial breaks and then people coming back. And I was like, I don't know if this has really been 4 minutes or not, but people just show up after the commercial break.
Hey, you know,
timing, it was great.
You know, I also want to, it was something I forgot to say about AEW that I would like to do something I want to commend AEW. They did something this week that I've been asking for multiple weeks, and they didn't have that many tag matches. They had more singles matches on this week, and I really appreciate them giving me some singles matches. And true, I am throwing in what happened on late Dynamite into the singles match things, but when they have singles matches, it does make the program flow a little bit better. They just really need to learn pacing like NXT does. NXT has great pacing and how the show flowed, and afterwards you felt good leaving. It didn't feel like you spent 2 hours watching the show. It felt really good.
You know, another thing in the show, there was a vignette about somebody reclaiming their gold or whatever, and things are icy. And do you guys have any speculations of October 1st of who this could be?
It's a female. I know that much because it was a female voice that was talking.
What are you talking about? It was a computer generated voice. It was different types.
It sounded like a female.
I didn't hear this. I didn't hear none of this. When did this happen?
You didn't see the October 4th thing?
You didn't get the vignette?
No.
Oh. Did you get your episode from Lincoln?
Yeah.
So what probably happened is because at first it looks like a commercial. Like it looks like a video game commercial. So whoever provided thing probably cut it out. But like it's like a person breaking in and they're breaking the glass and they're coming to reclaim what's there on October 4th. I thought it was a female voice. Marcus said that it was just a computer modulated.
No, it changed. It just kept changing.
Oh, I know.
It went female, it went male. It was very computer, robotic, and alien-like, and it was just all over the place. Who you got?
I'm intrigued. I don't know, Marcus. I was trying to think.
You gotta put your money on there. Put your money on there. Who you got?
Yeah, Luchadork says Robert Roode. I like Robert Roode.
They said it was a former champion. You know, Bobby could be it, but I don't feel like this is Bobby. This don't look like Bobby.
Marcus, it could be
This
Charlotte.
don't look like Bobby.
It could be Charlotte.
People be so pissed.
People
will be so pissed. People be so pissed if Charlotte came back like that.
Neville. It's not gonna be Neville.
And Neville ain't coming back. Although that would be crazy.
I tell you who it will be. Bo Dallas.
Oh, you going with Bo? Oh man. You know I forgot about Bo. He was an NXT legend at one point. I'm going with, and you know this may be a twist to people. I think they finally pulled the trigger on Kevin Owens joining NXT. He ain't doing shit on Raw. This seems like some Kevin Owens shit.
But the guy wasn't fat.
Well, that is a way. That is a way.
That was just a guy in a giant coat and a hood. You don't know who that man was.
I like Bo Dallas. I don't know why I wanted to be Bo. I want to give Bo a chance.
Does Bo move the needle?
He wants
Does Bo have to move the needle? But I know on October 4th, I'm going to be tuning in first to find out who's going to show up.
Yeah, but you know about you were talking about Bobby, and you know there are reports that Bobby on his way back or something like that. But I don't want Bobby just to come back as Bobby. I need Bobby to team up with free agent James Storm because I saw that in the same week, and I think they need to team up Beer Money again. And I know they don't give a damn about no damn tag teams, but NXT could really use that tag team.
Man, fuck NXT, Marcus. The main roster can use some tag teams.
Vince don't like no tag teams, Eric. They don't survive.
Fellas, we should wrap this up because we need to save some stuff for Saturday.
Oh, man. That's what she said. That's what she said. You need to wrap this up so we can say something Saturday, baby.
And have a slapjack.
on the T-bar. Have a slapjack on the T-bar using the mace.
And on that note, I've been Lord Manny Hayes.
And Marcus the Grunt! And yes, I'm still alive, finale.
And we've been joined by...
I'm trying to point up.
Point the other way, Manny. Point the other way. There we go.
No, I'm pointing too.
You're right, though, Marcus. And I've been Eric. I appreciate you guys letting me be a guest star on you guys. You know, my vacation week. I actually did something of substance. See you guys on Saturday for the low views. Please get my view count up so they can stop talking shit about me.
Hey, Mr. Lowview.
22 views.
Can I, Eric? I know you're Eric and all, and can I call you the Black Viking Raider? And you're the, and you know, it's Eric and Ivar. You guys are both bald and got the goatee look going. I'm sure you got that chest tattoo.
Well, I need to wake up early in the morning because apparently the second wave of PS5 pre-orders are going live tomorrow.
You know, I'm right across the street from the Sony main building. Really? I just walk in there and see if I can get one.
On that note, Marcus, you might be dead if you do that. See you guys Saturday for me.
And on that note, peace.